Hello everyone, I'm Mohit Jain from MJ's Maths and Stats and welcome again to eLitmus PH test preparation for year 2020. Today again we are with 20 questions and these 20 questions are from different topics of number system, average percentage, arithmetic, time, speed, distance, time and work, geometry, coordinate geometry, mensuration, Search indices, equations, quadratic equation, log, permutation, combination, set theory, probability. So let's begin now. Two circles with radii 9 cm and 4 cm touch each other externally. Let C be the radius of a circle which touches these circles as well as a common tangent of two circles. We have a circle with radius 9 and a small circle with radius 4. Okay, now we have a common tangent. There is another circle which touches these two circles and the common tangent. The radius of that circle is C. Then what is the value of C? Now we should know that in aptitude, if these type of questions come, we should know the relationship between these three circles, that is given by 1 by root C is equals to 1 by root over R1 plus 1 by root over R2. Please watch videos on circles uploaded on this channel where we have explained the derivation of these formulas. So that should be equals to 1 by root 9 is 3 and root 4 is 2, so that is 5 by 6. So 1 by C is 25 by 36, C is 36 by 25, that is 1.44 centimeter. A person bought a mobike under the following scheme: down payment of rupees 15,000 and the rest at 8% simple interest for 2 years. In this way he paid 28,920 in total. Find the actual price of the mobike. So 28,920, let's deduct the down payment first, and that would be 13,920. Suppose loan amount was P, then interest paid on P was 8 into 2 by 100, that is 0.16 P. So amount is principal plus simple interest, that is 1.16 P. Now this should be equals to 13,920. Okay, so P is 13,920 into 100 by 116. If I deduct this will go 12 times. So P would be 12,000. So loan amount is 12,000 and down payment is 15,000. So actual price equals down payment plus loan amount, that is 15,000 plus 12,000, 27,000. Find the circumcenter of the triangle formed by these 3 points on the coordinate axis. Okay, let's see where are these 3 points. X-axis, Y-axis. First point is 3 minus 4. 1, 2, 3. Minus 4 on negative Y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose this is 3 minus 4. 7, 2. 3, 7 and 7, 2. And we have 3, 2. 3, 2. So if I join these 3 points, it's easily we can see that triangle ABC is a right angle triangle. This is 3, 2, 7, 2 straight line, and this is 3, 2 and 3 minus 4, that means again a straight line, perpendicular line. This is an right angle triangle, And in case of a right angle triangle, circumcenter is actually the midpoint of the hypotenuse. In case of right angle triangle, circumcenter is the hypotenuse because the angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. So circumcenter would be 7 plus 3 by 2, that is 5, and 2 minus 4 by 2, that is minus 1. So coordinate of this center is 5 comma minus 1, that is the circumcenter. ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Area is 4 root 3. AB is 2 unit. BC is 5 unit. And angle B is 60 degree. Its perimeter is, we need to find the perimeter of this cyclic quadrilateral. Now we know that in cyclic quadrilateral, opposite pair angle sum is 180 degree. So angle D would be 120 degree. If I draw this diagonal AC, then area of this quadrilateral is nothing but area of two triangles, isn't it? So first let us find the area of triangle ABC, that is half into 2 into 5 into sine 60 degree. That is 5. Sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So it is 5 root 3 by 2. Therefore area of triangle ADC should be equals to 4 root 3 minus 5 root 3 by 2. 5 into 4 is 8, that is 3 root 3 by 2. Now suppose AD is A and CD is B. So area of ADC is half into AB into sine 120 degree, which is equals to 3 root 3 by 2. Now sine 120 degree is same as sine 60 degree because that is sine 180 degree minus 60 degree. So this would be half AB into root 3 by 2, which is equals to 3 root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 cancel out with this. A into B is 6. So A into B is 6. So the values of A and B, that those are possible, would be either 1 6 or 2 3, isn't it? So if I take A B as 1 6, perimeter would be 2 plus 5, that is 7, plus 6 plus 1, that is 7, that is 14. And if it is like 2 comma 3, perimeter would be 7 plus 5, that is 12. Now out of these two, only one would be there in the option. So 12 is there in the option. Perimeter of this cyclic quadrilateral is 12 units. A and B are two events where probability of A is 0.25 and B is 0.5. The probability of both happening together is 0.14. Okay, this is 0.14, A is 0.25 and B is 0.5. Now what is the probability of both A and B not happening? So first we need to find A union B. A union B is PA plus PB minus probability of both happening together, that is 0.25 plus 0.5 minus 0.14. 0.75 minus 0.14 is 0.61. So we need to find probability of both A and B not happening. Not happening is A union B complement, that is given by 1 minus 0.61, that is 0.39. 39% chances are that both A and B will not happen. The coefficient of x to the power 49 in the product of this expression. Now first thing, what is the concept here? If we have a polynomial of degree n, then coefficient of x to the power n minus 1 is the sum of all roots with negative sign. Suppose it is x to the power n plus a into x to the power n minus 1 plus b into x to the power n minus 2. Then coefficient of x to the power n minus 1 a is nothing but sum of all roots of this given polynomial when equated with 0 with a negative sign. Now, if I make this polynomial equate to 0, then what would be the roots of this equation? Roots of this equation would be 1, 3, 5, 7 till 99. So how many roots do we have? Number of roots are, by d it is 2 plus 1, that is 98 by 2, 49 plus 1, 50 roots are there. If for a given polynomial there are 50 roots, then the given polynomial would be x to the power 50 plus a into x to the power 49 plus b into x to the power 48 equals to 0. So they have asked us to find the coefficient of x to the power 49. X to the power 49 coefficient is a, which is nothing but, with a minus sign, sum of all roots. Now what is sum of all roots with the minus sign? It is n by 2 into a plus l. Why I am using this Sn equals to n by 2 into a plus l? Because if we see, the sum of root series is nothing but an AP series with common difference 2, first term 1 and last term 99, and number of terms are 50. So it would be 25 into 100, that is 2500. But with a negative sign, therefore coefficient of x to the power n is minus 2500. The number of integers between 1 and 200, each of which have got 10 divisors. Now, what is the concept of finding the divisors? Suppose my number is written as p1 to the power a1 into p2 to the power a2, where p stands for prime number. The number of divisors or number of factors is given by a1 plus 1 into a2 plus 1 and on. So suppose my number is 2 to the power a into 3 to the power b into 5 to the power c. I'm considering the first few basic prime numbers. Then number of factors would be a plus 1 into b plus 1 into c plus 1, suppose, and this is equals to 10. It is given. Now 10 can be written as 10 into 1 or 5 into 2. That's it. Now, or simply 10. So we can have like three cases. First case, if a plus 1 is equals to 10, then a is equals to 9. If a is equals to 9 and the smallest prime number is 2, then n would be 2 to the power 9, that is 512. But we need numbers between 1 to 200. That means this option is not applicable. Now, if I take 5 into 2 into 1, and if I compare this with 5 into 2 into 1, then c plus 1 will be equals to 1. That means c is 0. Now, if c is 0, that means that doesn't make any sense. We will have only two prime numbers, and a plus 1 into b plus 1 will be equals to 5 into 2. That means a value of a would be 4 and value of b would be 1. Now we need to find that with which prime number we can fit in the powers 4 and 1, so that we get numbers which lies between 1 to 200. Okay, so let's start with the smallest first. 2 to the power 4 into 3 to the power 1. 16 into 3. 48. Now let's change it. 2 to the power 1 into 3 to the power 4. That will also give me number of divisors 10. So 3 to the power 4 is 81 into 2 is 162. Great. Now let's try this with other prime numbers. 2 to the power 4 into 5 to the power 1. 16 into 5 is 80. 2 to the power 4 into 7 to the power 1. 16 into 7 is 112. 2 to the power 4 into 11 to the power 1. 16 into 11 is 176. 2 to the power 4 into 13 to the power 1. 16 into 13 is more than 200. Not applicable. We stop here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of such numbers are there between 1 to 200, each of which have got 10 divisors. You can check 4 plus 1 into 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 into 4 plus 1. Similarly, every numbers will have 10 divisor. Answer is 5. The number of ordered pairs m, n such that m and n belongs to 1 to 20 such that 3 to the power m plus 7 to the power n is a multiple of 10. Okay, if I put m equals to 1 and n equals to 1, I get 3 plus 7, that gives me 10. That means how will this sum would be a multiple of 10 depends upon the last digit of 3 to the power n and last digit of 7 to the power n. If last digit of 3 to the power n and 7 to the power n add up to give me a last digit 0, that means then this summation would be multiple of 10, isn't it? Good. Now what can be the last digit of 3? Last digit of 3 can be 3, 9, 7, 1 when raised to any power m. If 3 to the power 1 will give me 3, 3 square 9, 3 cube 7, 3 to the power 4 1, and again 3 to the power 5 will give me 3, 9, 7, 1. Again with power 9 we will have 9, 10, 11, 12. So it follows cycle of 4. We know that. Similarly, 7 to the power n, last digit would be 7, 9, 9, 7, 3, 3, 7, 1, and again it will fall back to 7. Now which combination gives me a 0 as a last digit when these two last digits are added up? 3 added up with 7 will give me 0. Fine. 9 will 1 will give me 0. This 7 with 3 will give me 0. And this 1 when paired up with this 9 will give me 0. Okay. So let us take case 1. Case 1. Last digit of 3 to the power m should be 3. We should get 3. Now how we can get a 3? When m is equals to 1. Now 3 will occur after every 4 powers. So when m is 5, last digit would be 3. When m is 9, last digit is 3. For 13 it is 3. For 17 it is 3. For 21 it is 3, but there is no 21. So we need to stop here. Similarly, in case of 7, 7 to the power n should give us 7. That means n should be equals to what? N to the power 1 gives you 7. N to the power 5 also, 9 also, 13 also, 17 also. So for the values of m 1, 5, 9, 3, 17, we can have values of n 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. And both will end with 3 and 7. So any combination will give us a multiple of 10 when added up. So how many pairs of m and n are possible? 5 into 5, that is 25 pairs. So it can be 1, 1, 1, 5, 1, 9, 1, 13, 1, 17 or 5, 1, 5, 5, 5, 9. So we have 25 pairs here. Similarly, in case 2, where we are looking out for last digit 9 and last digit 1, in case of 3 and in case of 7, we will again have 5 pairs here and 5 pairs here. 25 pairs. For case 3 also we will have 25 pairs. For case 4 also we will have 25 pairs. So how many number of ordered pairs of M and N are possible? 25 into 4, that is 100 pairs of M comma N are possible. P and Q are roots of a quadratic equation. So it is x square plus mx plus m square plus a equals to 0. Okay, so sum of roots would be minus b by a, that would be minus m, and product of roots would be c by a, that is m square plus a. Find the value of p square plus q square plus pq. This can be written as p plus q whole square minus pq, that is minus m whole square minus of m square plus a, that is m square minus m square minus a. So final value is minus a. As always requested, I'll request it right now also, and this is for each question that you are watching in this particular video. Please pause the video, read the sum, try to solve it yourself, time yourself, how much time you are taking, just see, have a look on that, and then begin with the solution and how I'm solving it for you. That is the way it's going to help you out. Just looking at the solution, going through the sum is not going to help you out anyways. E-litmus examination standard is different from other companies' recruitment examination. These people give you a platform so that you can apply in different companies, isn't it? They are not offering you a job. They are offering you a score which you may use it in off-campus drives of different companies when you are applying at these companies. You can go and visit their site and they will give you the full description that with the e-litmus score where you can apply and how you can apply. The standard is bit above, 2 notch, 3 notch above than a basic standard of TCS or CTS. So pause the video, try to solve these questions by yourself, and then look out for the solution. So we have one more question on the screen. This is from Time and Work. There are infinite pipes attached to a big tank. Pipes are numbered P1, P2, P3 and so on. It's also known that efficiency of every subsequent pipe is half the efficiency of the earlier pipe. That is, the efficiency of P2 pipe is half the efficiency of P1 pipe and so on. If efficiency is getting half, that means time required by the subsequent pipe will get doubled. However, in case of P1 pipe, this rule is not true since there is no earlier pipe, obviously. When all the pipes are working together, tank gets filled in 2 hours. What is the difference in the time taken by P5 and P6 pipe to fill the tank individually? Let us assume that time taken by pipe 1 is x hours, then pipe 2 is 2x, pipe 3 would be 4x, 8x and on. When all the pipes are working together, time taken by all of them to fill up this tank would be 1 upon 1 by x plus 1 by 2x plus 1 by 4x, and the series will go till infinity. So this can be written as x upon 1 plus half square plus half cube till infinity, and we can see that it is an infinite GP series, isn't it? And the sum of infinite GP series is given by a upon 1 minus r, where mod r is less than 1. Here our a is 1 and r is half, that is less than 1. So the total comes to x upon a is 1, r is half. 1 minus half is half and 1 upon half is 2. So this is x by 2. And now this time is given as, where it is, 2 hours. Time taken by all the pipes working together to fill the tank is 2 hours. Therefore, X is equals to 4 hours. Pipe 1 can individually fill this tank in 4 hours. Pipe 2 in 8, pipe 3 in 16, pipe 4 in 32, pipe 5 64, pipe 6 128, and so on. Now the question is, what is the difference in the time taken by P5 and P6? We need to find this difference. So 128 minus 64 is 64. You will never find an e-litmus pH test without one question on time and work and at least 1 to 2 question on time, speed and distance. It can be of varying standard, but this time I've taken up a very simple question. Let's solve this. A person covers a certain distance at a speed of 40 kph and returns to the starting point by increasing his speed by 50%. By increasing his speed by 50%, that means here the speed is 60 kph. Find the average speed. Drill is very simple. When we have S1 and S2 covering the same distance, average speed is given by 2S1 S2 upon S1 plus S2. So here average speed would be 2 into 40 into 60 by 40 plus 60, that is 100, 6 4 24, 48 kph. Arhit sell his table at a profit of 12.5%, that is 1/8, and the chair at a loss of 1 by 3%, that is 1/12. But on the whole he gains rupees 25. So we can say T by 8 minus C by 12 is 25. On the other hand, if he sells the table at a loss of 1 by 3 minus T by 12 and chair at a profit of 12.5 plus C by 8, then he neither gains or loses, that is equals to 0. So we need to find T and C. Find the cost price of the table, rather we just need to find T. So I can say C by 8 is T by 12, C is 8T by 12, that is 2T by 3. Now if I put this value in the first equation, T by 8 minus 2T by 3 into 12, so 18 minus 8 is 10T upon 8 into 18 equals 25. Okay, 24255. T is 18 into 5 is 90 into 4 is 360. So cost price of table is rupees 360. Option A. Divide rupees 5130 among PQRS such that 3 times P share is equals to 4 times Q is equals to 5 times R and is equals to 6 times S. If we get something like this, then P is to Q is to R is to S is nothing but inverse ratio of 3, 4, 5 and 6. So inverse ratio would be 20 into 6 120, and then 15 into 6 90, 12 into 6 72, and 20 into 3 is 60. So what is the share of Q? Q would be 90 upon sum of these 4, 120, 90, 210, 270 and 72, 342 into the total value given is 5130. On calculation we'll get this 15 times, so 90 into 15 is 1350. Value of Q is 1350. Rakesh passes an examination by scoring 576 marks, having scored 4% above the pass mark. Okay, that means his marks is pass mark plus 4% of the total marks, 4T by 100. that is 576. If Kapil has obtained 810 marks, what percent would he have been above the pass mark? Suppose that is x percent, so p plus x into t by 100 is equals to 810. These two things we have. So if I deduct these two, I'll get t by 100 into x minus 4 is 810 minus 576, that is 234. Okay, so value of x is there in this option. So let me try with 32. 32 minus 4 is 28. 234, 28 is 4 into 7, 21, 24. It is not divisible. 19 minus 4, 15. 234 is not divisible. 35 minus 4 is 31. Now 234, 31 into 7 is 217. No, this number is also not divisible by 31. So we are left with only 30. 30 minus 4 is 26. 234 is 26 into 9. Okay, so if I use x equals to 30, then my t would be 900. Let me check whether we are getting 30% or not. Then how much is 810? 810 is 90%. And how much is 4%? 4% is 36. So 576 minus 36 is 540. So 540 on 900 is 60%. That is pass mark. Total marks are 900. And Kapil have scored 810, that is 90%. So 90 minus 60 is 30%, which matches. 5-person A, B, C, D, E throw dice in the order named, okay, until one of them throws an ace. Ace means getting 1 on the dice. What is the ratio of winning chances of A and B? And who is starting the game? A is starting the game. See, in this kind of tandem games, probability, suppose A starts, then probability that A will win is given by P upon 1 minus Q to the power n if there are n people in the game. P is probability of success of A in first throw, and Q is probability of non-success of A in first throw. Now, if we need to find the probability of the second person, suppose this is probability of the first person. So probability of the second person would be given by Q into P by 1 minus Q to the power n. Similarly, if I ask you that what would be the probability of rth person, rth person probability would be Q to the power r minus 1 into P upon 1 minus Q to the power n. To learn more about this, you may follow the playlist, the Pink series. You may follow the playlist Red and White series. Pink series is related to permutation and combination. Red and White series is related to probability. You can check this out in channel's playlist where the detailed description is given how we have derived to these formula. But during exams, derivation is not important. Important is whether we can remember these formulas or not. Now if we apply this on particular sum, here n is equals to 5. 5 people are playing the games in tandem, and probability of getting ace when a die is thrown. So P is 1 by 6 and Q is 5 by 6. So probability of A winning the game is 1 by 6 upon 1 minus 5 by 6 to the power 5, and probability of B winning the game would be Q into P, that is 5 by 6 into 1 by 6 upon 1 minus 5 by 6 to the power 5. Now what is the ratio they have asked? So PA upon PB, the denominator will cancel out, so it would be 1 by 6 upon 5 by 6 into 1 by 6, that will be 6 by 5. So ratio of winning is 6:5. 3 questions at least from permutation, combination and probability, or if they are giving one question from set theory, so that makes it 4. So practice a lot. There are 5 distinct colored balls and 4 distinct bags. Each ball is put in one or other bag. Every bag may contain 0, 1 or more than one ball. Okay. What is the total number of possible ways in which the second bag contained 2 balls? Now we have got 5 balls. This is the second bag. This should contain 2 balls. Which 2 balls? We don't know. So let us pick up any 2 balls from these 5 balls and put it there in this bag. This bag is now full. Why? Because no more ball will be entered into this bag. Now we are left with 3 balls and 3 bags. In how many ways these 3 different colored balls can be put into these 3 bags? First ball can be put into these 3 bags in 3 ways. It may go to bag 1 or bag 3 or bag 5. Again, the second ball will have 3 ways. It may go to bag 1, bag 3 or bag 5. The third ball again will have 3 ways of putting up in these 3 bags. So number of possible ways in this, number of possible ways in which this can happen is 5c2 into 3 to the power 3. 5c2 is 10, 3 to the power 3 is 27, that is 270 ways. One more from permutation and combination. 5 black, 3 green and 2 red books are to be arranged on a single bookshelf. If all the books are distinct, then in how many ways we can arrange them if books of same color must be grouped together? We know the format for grouping, n minus g plus 1 into factorial g. But here this should be grouped together, should be grouped together. So that would be n minus g1 plus 1 minus g2 plus 1 minus g3 plus 1 into factorial g1, g2, g3. And now no need to divide by anything or multiply with anything else because all books are distinct. They are of same color but all are distinct. So in how many ways that can be done? So we have 5 plus 3 plus 2, that is 10 books. So that would be 10 minus 5 plus 1 minus 3 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1 into factorial 5, factorial 3, factorial 2. So that will give us factorial 3. Factorial 3 is 6 into 120 into 6 into 2. 36 into 2, 72 into 12, 4, 14, 16, 1, 8. That is 8640. A teacher asks 2 students to add some consecutive numbers starting from 1. That means 1 plus 2 plus 3 till n. That is what they are supposed to find. 2 students M and Z added a different number of numbers, but both of them missed the same number during the addition process. They ended up with a sum greater than 1300 and less than 1360. How many values are definitely possible for the numbers missed by them? First, let us find that how long would be this string so that we reach a total which lies between 1300 to 1360. For this we use the triangular number concept and it's very simple. Just pick up one number 1300, double it 2600, find the root of this and the highest integral value. That would be 50, that is 2500. Very good. Find S50 for the natural number series, that is 50 into 51 by 2, n into n plus 1 by 2. That will give us 1275. Now 1275 is less than 1300. Next number, let's try. S51 would be 51 into 52 by 2. 51 into 26 would be 1326. Fine, that lie between this range. S52, 52 into 53 by 2. 53 into 26 would be 1378. Okay. So we need to consider these two. And how? Let us talk about student M, who have added a few numbers and given some total between 1300 to 1360. He was supposed to give total 1326, isn't it? M was supposed to give me the total of 1326, but he have given any number between this. That means he have given 1301, 1302 or till 1325, because he can't give 1326 because he have missed out one number. Now if he have given me this total 1301, that means he have missed out 25. If he have given me this total 1302, that means he have missed out number 24, isn't it? 1326 minus 1302. Similarly, if he have given me the total of 1325, he have missed out 1 while adding up. Now let us come to Z. Z must have given us a total anything, but his total would be 1378. Why 1378? Because it's given that both M and Z added up different number of numbers. That means Z total cannot be 1326 if M's total is 1326. That means Z should have given us the total of 1378. But Z have given us something between this. Now what Z would have given us is 1327. Okay, he can't give us 1326 because 1326 is sum of n natural numbers till 51 terms. He must have given us the total of 1328 or till 1360. If he have given a total of 1327, that means he have missed out what? 1378 minus 1327, that is 51. Here he have missed out 50. And if he have given the total of 1360, then he must have missed out what? But one thing, he can't give us the total of 1360, correct? He can give us the maximum total, that is 1359, because that is less than 1360. Now 1359 minus 1378 is 19. So for M, the number which M must have missed out is either 1, 2, 3 till 25. And for Z, the numbers he have missed out would be 19, 20, 25, 26 till 51. And it's given that they missed out the same number. So the possible number of numbers which they would have missed out is common of these two sets. That is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 or 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many values are definitely possible for the numbers missed by them? 7 values are definitely possible. One more on number system, as we have discussed earlier, at least 4 questions out of 20 questions would be from number system. So be ready with that. M was asked by his mathematics teacher to write an algebraic expression on the blackboard by using exactly 5 2's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, such that the expression evaluates to 10. However, he is allowed to use only the operations of multiplication and addition along with parenthesis, that means brackets, and exponential, that means raising to the power. A to the power b format is possible. Parentheses are possible, addition sign is possible, multiplication is possible. If M writes all such expression possible, then how many expression does he write? Okay, so let's start with the basic. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 will give me 10. If I pair them up, 2 into 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. If I write like this, I'll get a 10. Again 2 into 2, if I pair them up, plus 2 into 2 plus 2. 4 plus 4 plus 2, that will also give me 10. Now this 2 into 2 can also be written as 2 to the power 2, isn't it? So this is 2 to the power 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that will give us 10. Similarly here also I can have one more expression. This will also give me 10. Okay, one more, we can arrange this one as 2 square plus 2 into 2 plus 2 is also equals to 10. So I think we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 6 ways we can form expression values as 10. Which of the given convex polygon, regular convex polygon, has ratio of internal to external angle as 3:1? Now suppose we have a regular convex polygon of n sides, then each external angle is given by 360 degree by n. Internal angle is given by 180 into n minus 2 by n. You can easily derive this because interior plus exterior is equals to 180 degree. So interior would be 180 degree minus 360 by n, that is 180 common, 1 minus 2 by n, which will give us 180 into n minus 2 by n. Now the ratio given is 3:1, that is 180 into n minus 2 by n into n by 360 equals 3 by 1. So when we solve this, we get n minus 2 is 6. Therefore n is equals to 8. It is an 8-sided regular convex polygon, that is, it is an octagon. Thank you everyone for participating. These were few chosen assorted 20 questions which you might find in coming examination of e-litmus pH test. They were actually designed keeping different topics which they cover, the standard which they follow. Please practice a lot. Permutation combination, number system, arithmetic, geometry mensuration, coordinate geometry, time speed, time and work. Don't just solve few questions which are being explained to you at different channels. I am not asking you not to follow any channel. I'm asking you follow everyone. Have a look at all the videos available on the YouTube. But do ask yourself that is this the level which they are discussing? The level of e-litmus pH test is actually very high than what is actually being discussed by few of our educators. Don't fall prey of just preparing instantaneously and preparing quickly. It's the concepts which will help you. When you are solving a question, it's something like during net practice. Practice with perfection. Practice the entire concept. Because in the examination, you will always try to use options, you will always try to find out shortcuts which you can use there. But while you are practicing at home, while you are practicing online, please practice as if you are supposed to write in all the concepts. 4 questions with concept, 5th one you will just read and would be able to solve it. Go through all the questions once again, go through the concept videos, and stay connected with us. Subscribe to our channel, join our Telegram group at 9007221556, that is MJ Magic Studio, and share your doubts, share your achievements, and help us grow. Thank you. I'm Mohit Jain, signing off from MJ's Maths and Stats. I'll see you soon.